There are quite a lot of talks about double dip recession in 2023. Stock market doesn't recover, mass layoffs in tech, COVID restrictions in China and default of the UK pension fund, all-time high credit card spending, and of course, oil prices were getting higher. Everything tells us that it's gonna be another recession in 2023. Or not. In this video, you will learn why every year, literally every year, we hear that recession is coming next year. Is the US economy really in that bad shape? And several bull scenarios for 2023. But let's start with the reasons for the recession next year. All major indexes are down year over year. S&P 500 minus 16%, Dow Jones minus 6%, Nasdaq minus 28%, Bitcoin minus 65%, US bonds minus 16%. Multiple companies trim their employees' headcount, like Meta just recently laid off about 10,000 employees, Snapchat 1,500 employees, Credit Suisse 2,700, Robinhood and Coinbase about 1,000 employees each, and many other companies that we recently saw on the news. Multiple COVID restrictions in China significantly harm global economy, including giants like Apple. And in the recent news, we saw that harsh conditions in the assembly plant in China hit iPhone production, but there is no official announcement by the Chinese government that they plan to lift the restrictions at this point. By the way, I made a separate video about this, check in the section below. Other reasons include UK pension fund might blow up, inflation obviously is still very high, and Bank of America warns us about huge unemployment next year. But you know what? Since I started to invest, I have seen the news about the recession literally every year. 2016, 2017, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. It seems like it's easier to beat on negative outcomes and people tend to click more on the news like that. Plus, from the investment perspective, it's better to bet on the worst scenarios than on the better ones. But with this said, here's a bit of statistics for you. Yes, recession do happen, but it's not that often as you might think. It's actually extremely unusual market goes down 24% like this year. It has happened just 15 times since 1926. The following year is very usual to bounce back almost inevitably. Actually, 2/3 of the time, the following year you were made the whole again. Back-to-back years minus 20% down are very rare. You have to go back up to 1930s to find situations like that. In 72% of the cases, S&P 500 has been higher year over year since 1920s. In 56% of the cases, S&P 500 goes up to 10% year over the year for the following year. With all of this said, I have a few bullish news for you. As we recently saw, inflation in the US is cooling down to 7.7%. COVID restrictions in China will probably be lifted next year, and as I mentioned before, I have a separate video about this in the section below. The majority of the companies have already made employment adjustments, and all of those changes were already priced in the market. A dramatic war in Ukraine is still going, but turns to more positive scenarios with Ukrainians and getting back territory. According to Washington Post, there are potential scenarios of Gainy deal maybe next year, and inflation in the European zone is getting under control as we just saw in the news today. But this is not all of it. Logistic transit time in the US has normalized per Ryan Peterson, CEO of leading logistic company Flexport. We also saw very centric results of the midterm elections, which will force both parties to collaborate on the new laws and prevent from unrealistic spendings and bold moves that might happen if just one party ruled the entire government. And of course the news today about consideration of 50 basis points instead of 75 basis points, which made a huge jump on the market today. And don't forget, the time in the market always beats the timing of the market. The majority of all gains happen a few days during the year like today. If you meet those days, you wouldn't recover your losses during the same year. So stay diversified and long term in good companies and you're gonna be fine. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the bullish scenarios for 2023. If you have any alternative scenarios, please leave them in the comment section below and subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much and have a great one.